Hey, what's going on, guys? OJ back here with another video, and today we're gonna be talking about fights to make after UFC 320. Now, keep in mind, I'm not going to be covering every single fighter that fought last night. I'm just gonna be covering all of the fighters that I care about. All right, some fighters, like even though they have a big name, I think either they should retire or get cut from the promotion, either because they're ass, they're washed, or in the case of Daniel Santos, he missed weight by 6 pounds. I'm gonna talk about all the fighters I care about and all the matchups I would like to see. So, without wasting any more time, let's jump right into the video. All right, so we're gonna start off with Alex Pereira. I think he should fight Tom Aspinall straight up. I know he just got his belt back, and he does have a couple of contenders at light heavyweight right now, but I don't think people are that excited about a Yuri Prochazka trilogy. I don't think that many people care about Carlos Ulberg, even though he's coming off a fantastic win against Dominic Reyes. And the UFC is not giving Magomed Ankalaev the trilogy against Alex Pereira. So I say Alex Pereira, he moves up to heavyweight, fights Tom Aspinall, who I will assume will destroy Cyril Gane within the first minute or so, and we just make this fight happen for the UFC White House card. All right, we got Alex Pereira, who can potentially challenge for 3 belts in the UFC, which is something that's never been done before. And even can pull off an upset win against Tom Aspinall, he becomes the greatest of all time. All right, whereas Tom Aspinall, he is the uh defending heavyweight champion. He will destroy Cyril Gane, so I'm just gonna put him here. Even if Cyril Gane wins, all right, we still make this fight happen, and we get Alex Pereira up to heavyweight and just knock out Cyril Gane. But this is the fight I'm going to assume is going to happen for the White House card. I do not want to see John Jones back. All right, I do not care for Alex Pereira versus John Jones. So let's make Alex Pereira versus Tom Aspinall happen. All right, now moving on. Magomed Ankalaev. He lost to Alex Pereira in the first round. I say give him Khalil Roundtree. You know, they're both guys that are now going to be in the top 5 of the division, and they're both coming off losses. I don't think it's completely unreasonable. And Khalil Roundtree was looking pretty good prior to losing to Alex Pereira and Jiri Prochazka. And Magomed Ankalaev was also in a long unbeaten streak before Alex Pereira knocked him out in the first round. So I say this fight, I think it's very fun. All right. I know Magomed Ankalaev can go to a lot of iffy decisions at times, but this is one of the stylistic matchups I see that just makes a lot of sense, and it could make for a very fun boxing fight. Both of these guys are southpaws, so it's going to be very interesting to see how Khalil Roundtree will approach this. Is he going to slam the calf kicks more, which Ankalaev has shown that he isn't the best at taking those, but at the same time, Ankalaev's boxing defense is a lot better than anyone Khalil Roundtree has fought. Maybe minus Pereira, but still. So I am pretty intrigued about this fight. So they're also on the same card and they both lost, so they're gonna take some time off. So probably like what, middle of 2026, I say make this fight happen. All right, now moving on, we got Merab Dvalishvilli versus Peter Yan. Yeah, Peter Yan should get the next title shot. All right, I see some fans calling for an Umar Nurmagomedov rematch. Let's be honest, what has Umar Nurmagomedov done? All right, this guy lost to Merab, and then he didn't do anything else. All right, even if he beats Bautista, I still don't think Bautista is as good as people think. All right, especially because Patchy Mix looked complete dog shit yesterday, and Mario Bautista, although he schooled Patchy Mix, right? Like you realistically should put him away, all right? Because Patchy Mix kind of proved that he's not even UFC caliber. So I say Merab Dvalishvili fights Peter Yan, and he's going to destroy Peter Yan probably. All right, I'm gonna dread that fact. I will delusionally root for Peter Yan to win and pick him to win against Merab Dvalishvili in the rematch, but yeah, I don't see it going all too well, to be honest. But I do hope he would get the next title shot because I think I don't know. There's not many opportunities for Peter Yan right now. Right, he is kind of at a point where he's fought nearly everyone else. and he's nearly beaten everyone else. So I hope to see Peter Yan get the next title shot over Umar Nurmagomedov or anyone else, unless Pantoja decides to move up to the bantamweight division. All right, now up next we got Cory Sandhagen. I think this is the obvious fight to make. Right, Cory Sandhagen versus Sean O'Malley, two lanky strikers, who've never really fought each other, despite being at the top of bantamweight for quite some time. So this is pretty obvious, I think. All right, Sean O'Malley, I believe, is a much more approachable matchup for Cory Sandhagen, and at the same time, Sean O'Malley, he also has a much more approachable matchup than Merab. All right, both of these guys did lose to Merab, and I don't know. I think because there's not gonna be that much wrestling, I could see it being a very exciting striking match. Maybe Corey is the one to dictate the grappling, I guess. But at the same time, Sean O'Malley's a very slick striker, and there's a chance where Corey Sandhagen can get caught as he's like exiting the exchange. So it's gonna be an interesting fight to see. And I think this is the fight to make because let's be honest, neither of these guys are really gonna get a title shot. But whoever wins this might not be that far away. All right, now up next we got Jiri Prochazka. I say have him fight Carlos Ulberg for the vacant light heavyweight title. Alex Pereira, like I said earlier, he should move up to heavyweight and potentially be the first three division champion in the UFC. Vacate the light heavyweight belt or have an interim light heavyweight belt in the meantime, and have Jiri Prochazka and Carlos Ulberg fight for it. All right, both of these guys are deserving for a title shot. All right, Carlos Ulberg is on a 9 fight win streak. Jiri Prochazka is coming off a great wins against Khalil Roundtree and Jamal Hill, and he looks much more improved than the last time he's fought for the belt. So I say both of these guys deserve their title shot. So have them fight each other for the belt because Alex Pereira is going to be moving up to the heavyweight division. All right, now up next we got Youssef Zalal. I say give him Arnold Allen. All right, Arnold Allen, he hasn't fought in a while. He is coming off a win against Giga Chikadze, but that win over Giga Chikadze isn't aging the best. And Youssef Zalal, right? Although he had a boring performance against Calvin Cater, he did submit Josh Emmett in the first round, which is really impressive. So I think Youssef Zalal deserves like a sizable jump up in competition. He's not going to get the next title shot. I think there's too many guys at the top. But Youssef Zalal, he's proven he's elite level. So I think Arnold Allen, who's maybe like 1 or 2 fights away from a title shot as well, I say the winner of this can either get a number one contenders fight or the next title shot. All right. I think this is going to be a very interesting fight. Hopefully, Arnold Allen figures out all of his injuries and stuff. But if Arnold Allen's healthy and Yusuf Zalal is good to go, then I say we book this fight. All right, now up next we got Joe Pyfer. Yeah, just give him Roman Dolidze. All right, Roman Dolidze. I was so disappointed in him in his last fight with Anthony Hernandez. Like, not to say that I was ever a believer in Roman Dolidze, but still, like he looked absolutely pathetic, and I think the UFC is going to I don't know, kind of analyze his last performance against Hernandez and go, yeah, we need to get this guy out the rankings. And what better way to get him out the rankings than to give him Joe Pyfer, right? Roman Dolidze, the only thing he's known for is practically just having an unbreakable chin and just having the fluke ability to submit you if you shoot a takedown in the later rounds, all right? Joe Pyfer, we can test that theory as to whether or not Roman Dolidze can't get knocked out. And if Joe Pyfer can knock out Roman Dolidze, that is a sure way to jump him up into the top 10, which I am sure that the UFC wants. All right. So this is a win-win for everyone here outside of Roman Dolidze. All right. We got Joe Pyfer potentially getting into the top 10. We got the UFC who want Joe Pyfer at the top of the division, and we don't have to see Roman Dolidze hog onto a ranking spot in the middleweight division that much longer. All right, now up next we got Ateba Gautier. Now I understand that Ateba Gautier has not fought anyone good whatsoever, but he does deserve a sizable jump up in competition because I'm low-key tired of watching Gautier just, beat up on cans. Like, what they ever do to you, man? Like, leave them alone. I think Gautier should fight Kelvin Gastelum. I know Kelvin Gastelum's coming off a win against Dustin Stoltzfus, but he missed weight by 6 pounds at middleweight. All right, that is simply unexcusable. So, in order for, I guess, Kelvin Gastelum to redeem himself, I say have him fight one of the scariest upcoming prospects in the middleweight division. And that scary upcoming prospect is Ateba Gautier. You know, Gautier has potentially the power to knock out Kelvin Gastelum, but Kelvin Gastelum, unlike any of the other guys Gautier's fought so far, can actually put up resistance and he can grit down, especially in the later rounds. It's going to be very interesting to see whether or not Gautier can sustain himself past the first and second round at the UFC level. And I think Kelvin Gastelum can potentially be the guy to do so. But if Gautier can knock Kelvin Gastelum out, then that really assures us that Gautier's the real deal. And he is going to be a force to be reckoned with in years to come in the middleweight division. All right, now up next, we got Joo Sang Yoo, lost to Daniel Santos. Now, you may be asking why I'm not talking about Daniel Santos. Quite frankly, I am sick of Daniel Santos. He missed weight by 6 pounds at featherweight when he was originally a bantamweight fighter just last year. So I don't care for Daniel Santos. Quite frankly, I wouldn't mind it if you cut him. All right, but Ju Sang Yu, he got knocked out. He's gonna need some time off. I say give him Christian Rodriguez though. All right, Christian Rodriguez is known as the gatekeeper for prospects, and although Ju Sang Yu lost, I think the UFC is still gonna look at him as a potential prospect because they want to see someone thrive in like the East Asian market. All right, Korea, Japan, China, they want more fighters from that region. And Chu Sang Yu, all right, he is a very flashy fighter. So if he can put him together some wins, then I can see the UFC once again hopping on the bandwagon and trying to promote this guy. And also, Christian Rodriguez is a very approachable matchup. He's not exactly very threatening on the feet. He's just very good at defending takedowns and then making it a very scrappy fight. And I think Ju Sang Yu, it's a very approachable matchup because he's just much faster on the feet, and he's the one which with finishing potential, unlike Christian Rodriguez. So I'm gonna say Ju Sang Yu fight Christian Rodriguez maybe sometime in the middle of 2026. Both guys, you know, whoever loses, I think will be in a bad spot, but I'm very confident that Ju Sang Yu is gonna pull through. Please, Ju Sang Yu pull through so my mental health stays intact. So, yeah, I pray that the UFC kind of throws him a bone for this next fight. All right, now up next, we got Edmen Shahbazyan. I think he should take on Sher Magomedov. You know, Sher Magomedov's a guy that the UFC want in the rankings of the middleweight division. And Edmen Shahbazyan, although he's not exactly looked at as a prospect, he is on a little bit of a run. He's on a 3-fight win streak and he's gotten impressive KOs in most of his fights. So I say that Edmen Shahbazyan have him fight Sharon Magomedov. It's going to be a very fun striking match, and the winner can potentially find themselves against a ranked opponent in the future. So Edmen Shahbazyan, Sharon Magomedov, there's not going to be that much grappling. Neither fighter really likes to grapple all that much. So I say have them fight each other, and the winner can potentially find themselves at either the number 15 ranking spot or against a guy who's within like the top to 10 to 15 range. All right, now up next, we got Farid Basharat. He's coming off a win against Chris Gutierrez. All right, he won the first 2 rounds pretty impressively, but the third round, he was kind of gassing himself out a little bit. So I say give him Jonathan Martinez. Quite frankly, I'm not a believer in Farid Basharat, right? I know some people might argue that he should deserve a ranked opponent, but let's be honest, all right? Do you think he beats any of the ranked guys right now? I don't think so. All right, I would probably pick Marcus McGee to just outbox him on the feet for at least the first 2 rounds pretty comfortably. So I say give Farid Basharat Jonathan Martinez, it wasn't that long ago when he was in the rankings of the bantamweight division. And he is coming off a loss to Marcus McGee, but Marcus McGee is actually pretty good. So have Farid Basharat fight Jonathan Martinez, and if he beats Jonathan Martinez, right, even if it's kind of a little bit of a scrappy fight, I say he is potentially ranked potential. But if he can beat Jonathan Martinez in impressive fashion, then I think that should catapult him up into the number 15 spot of the bantamweight division. And then from there, it's just kind of pick'ems because I think Farid Basharat will potentially be looked at as a prospect if he beats Jonathan Martinez in impressive fashion. And last but not least, we got Ramiz Brahimaj. All right, he's coming off a win against Austin Vanderford in the second round via guillotine. I say, give him Michael Chiesa. Michael Chiesa, I've never rated him. Right? I still think Michael Chiesa is a victim on the feet, but Chiesa is a lot better than a lot of the guys that Brahimaj has been able to put away. So, Ramiz Brahimaj, he's on a 3-fight win streak, all by finish. So he does deserve a jump up in competition. And I think that sizable jump up in competition is Michael Chiesa. And I think Chiesa might also take this fight because, this not that long ago when Brahimaj was losing to the likes of Court McGee or like Emma Garimbo, who aren't exactly the best of the best. So Michael Chiesa, Ramiz Brahimaj put it on the prelims of a random pay per view, and I think this is a very approachable fight for both. I would say Ramiz Brahimaj would win just because of the age, and plus Michael Chiesa isn't exactly the most active fighter, but Michael Chiesa can potentially fraud check his grappling defense because what I've noticed from Brahimaj is he loves to pull guillotines a lot. And I think if you pull guillotines a lot against Chiesa, it's gonna be a bad night for you. So let's see how this fight goes. I'm gonna say Ramiz Brahimaj, though he deserves a jump up in competition. So give him Michael Chiesa. All right, that's gonna be it for today's video. If you guys want to see more videos like this, please make sure to like and subscribe so we can get this channel monetized. But otherwise, leave a comment down below what you guys think about these matchups. Do you agree? Disagree? What matchups would you make for certain fighters on the card? But otherwise, I will probably see you guys later. Peace.